Look what we have right here, guys. Another special show with another very special guest. Today we have this young man, and his name is Nathan Milazzo. That's
Milazzo.
Milazzo. Sorry, he just told me a few seconds ago, what's your surname? And I got it wrong. So Milazzo, he started cutting lawns. First of all, guys, you need to hear the bio here that he just sent it to me, and it's pretty awesome. So basically, he started cutting lawns with his brother and a friend around 14 years old. He always worked really hard for money and saved a lot of it. So that's a lesson for you young kids. At 19, he started wholesaling and made 20K on his first transaction, but blew it all.
Yeah.
He wrote, because I was 19 with the 20K, haha. So definitely makes sense. So he learned from that mistake and started growing his lawn business and living very frugally. He started listening to podcasts all day, every day, and got hooked on owning rentals because he knew he would not want to cut grass his entire life. Make sense? The first rental that he bought was a house hack that he still lives in today, but it has become just a house, not a hack.
Yep.
You own it. Got it.
Yep,
so,
I do.
So he has lost his interest in single family homes and started focusing on multifamily last year, where he currently has a fourplex. And as you mentioned before the interview, he's working on 32-unit deal currently. So Nathan, really appreciate you being here, man. Impressive bio. I'm just so excited to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Glad to be here.
So again, for the people who are watching, they heard the bio. Great. Love the story. But maybe you can dive a little bit deeper into, how did you discover this real estate investing world, and how did it all happen for you? Was it all just with cutting grass and through that, or was it something else?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. It's because when you're, cutting grass all day, you can only listen to so much music. And I just started looking at podcasts and different things. I've always been interested in money. So obviously when you start looking at money, you start looking at ways to make money. So I found real estate, and I really like that. I really like the rental aspect of it just because it's almost like a retirement plan. That's the way I looked at it at first. Then I realized that, wait, you could do this for a career, not just a retirement plan, and land up liking it. So I fell into the rental game. Did some wholesale stuff, every now and then, but mainly just we're focusing on now apartment buildings and small apartment buildings.
Yeah, because wholesaling, it's a full-time job, right?
Yeah. I have a good friend. One of our partners is a full-time wholesaler. He does very well, but it's a full-time gig for sure.
Yeah. So it depends, because people are watching now and thinking oh, real estate, there's so many different real estate asset classes that you can go into, and some of those are going to be very active, and some of them might be very passive. So it depends on a strategy that and you probably discovered oh my God, I'm just guessing, but I don't want to do this full time, and it's it's a lot about timing and speed, in that space. So,
when I found that, it's just when I found the wholesale stuff, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's just I didn't like the transaction. I want to be able to do something that's going to be scalable, one, and two, something that's going to be compounding on itself. So like say I have $1,000 a month rental income. That doesn't go away unless you sell the property or unless something happens. So I like the aspect of that. That way you can build on top of that and just keep going and going and going.
Yeah. So got it. Because you kind of answered a second question that I got here in front of me. It was why multifamily instead of single family, and it's not because of it's a fashion thing now. You see all the multifamily people, they're just popping up every day, everybody's investor now. You go on Instagram multifamily investor, 0 units under management. But it's a popular thing, but you don't go for that. You just go because it makes more sense for you, right? It's more scalable. And
correct. Yeah. And I also help manage 24 units next to mine. So because I'm in a high multifamily area near campus. So I like the fact of scalability is the first one, obviously, but it's not necessarily the sexiest thing in real estate, but it's getting to be that way, I guess. I guess a lot of people are starting to like it, but they're realizing that single family homes are great for the cash flow per unit, but the scalability of it, if you have 100 single family homes versus a 100 unit complex, it's way easier to manage than a 100 unit complex than 100 single family homes.
Yeah, it's not even that acquiring, you need 100 mortgages to buy
100 closings and
closings,
everything.
and it's one closing on a 100 unit deal.
Yeah,
So
and then as soon as somebody moves out, you're at 0% instantly. So
yeah,
I don't like that either.
yeah. It's like there's a lot of people. Like, you probably heard about the guy. What's his name? Now I'm trying to remember his face. He's very well known man. Dean Graziosi.
Yeah, Graziosi, another Italian guy.
You
Yeah.
probably heard, and I was watching. I remember I was watching one interview with him. Somebody asked him because he used to own, I think, I know I'm gonna get this wrong, but like 1,500 houses or something like. It's
Yeah,
crazy number.
it was like 1,500 single family homes. Yeah, it was crazy
It's
and free
crazy.
and clear too.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say, because the guy, and that was, I think that was 2 years ago or a year ago, that was an
Hmm.
interview, and the guy said, look, like before this end of the year, which was last year, he said, I'm gonna
Hmm.
get rid of all the houses. And I'm looking at the market, and like I see people going and buying these houses still. So I'm like, who's right in that situation? Like this guy's like multimillionaire and he's looking to invest in multifamily. So it
Hmm.
definitely makes sense. So
Oh yeah, it definitely does, and that's why I like too with systems. Like I follow Jake and Gino a lot, and I like the way their business model works, just because they call it the Chick-fil-A of apartments, because they're dealing with C to B class units, and that's what we're dealing with, mainly C class units. So we're going to give value to somebody who doesn't necessarily always get it, because in the area that we're in now, the C class tenants are just very. I mean, you should see the property management stuff they're getting away with. It's pretty crazy, but yeah. So if we bring value to that asset too, there's different ways. Also, if multifamily are valued on the actual income that the property brings in, not like a single family. Single
yeah,
family is only valued between comps in the area around.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for the people again who are looking to get involved into this space, like who already been a little bit in real estate, they understand like multifamily and the benefits of it. And yeah, I,
Hmm.
I did spoke with Dylan Marma. We did an
Yeah.
interview, I think last year sometime. So yeah, we spoke a little bit. He explained, because he works with Jake and Gino
Yeah.
and the company. So it's awesome. I love what they do as well. I mean, there's a lot of
Hmm.
great companies that people can follow now, and due to like all this information, like we're talking via Zoom, and people looking at this interview, I don't know, South America, China. Well,
Yeah.
don't get me infected, please. But
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. But there's everything available, all these information sources. So it's now more than ever easier, to get started investing in real estate. And that's what we hear. That's why
Mm.
I do the show, and that's why I'm so happy to have Nathan here, on the show, so he can give those, nuggets for you guys to take away and implement some stuff today.
Yeah.
Because that's where people I see, they lack, on the taking action part. The information is there,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
everybody lacks of taking that action. But you're a hard worker, as you said, in the bio here, and that's what it takes, to work
Hmm.
hard,
Yeah.
really, to push through some stuff. So what would be your one piece of advice for somebody who is watching this right now and thinking, oh, I want to get started, I don't have any background, business, real estate, what's the way for me to get started, like the first steps?
I'd tell them to wait and get educated, because at first, whenever I started going to do negotiations with these guys, especially the multifamily like brokers and everything, you had to know the lingo. You got to know what exactly a cap rate is, or what the property, what the area is going for. You got to really know your area, because they can call BS pretty quick. So first one would be get educated. Make sure, and whether that's podcasts, going to meetups, going to these conferences or whatever, make sure you know just the basic. I mean, I'd say a little more basic, but at least the basic cap rates or what's going on in that specific market. That way, they take you serious. Because I've noticed too, a lot of these brokers, there's a lot of deals that they have that aren't even listed, that are the real deals. They
Hmm.
call them pocket listings. But the ones that are usually, at least in my area, the ones that are listed are already come through by all the other
Yeah.
different. So, and the second really would be confident too. Make sure you're confident and you know what you're talking about. Just because they're just humans. Like these guys try to seem intimidating, but they're really not. Once you kind of get peel back all of the stuff, you just realize that they're just normal guys. But they're just trying to make it kind of scare you, I guess.
Yeah.
But and they're also just trying to make sure you're not wasting their time. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, and as long as you hit them consistently too, then you know that'll
Exactly.
definitely get their attention.
For them, it's just a matter like, can you close on a deal? Like, do you have
Yep.
the capital? Do you have an experience? That's what they want to know. Like, do you
Hmm.
have the money? Do you have an experience? So, you know, and like there's a good way, like, you know, you acquired, you know, you got this house hack, you know, that
Mhm.
you're actually now living in. So you got an
Mhm.
experience there, you know, managing the property and, you know, doing all the work, because you probably, you know, did the property management too. So with the fourplex, it's probably a similar story. So,
Mhm.
and again, you collected all this experience. So now you can move to 32, and then it's going to
Mhm.
be 320. So who knows,
Yeah,
like, you know, where you're going to go after, but you're moving forward with that. So that's
correct.
what you need, you know, experience definitely. And that's what people are looking at.
Mhm.
So, so what do you think about, you know, apartment communities? Now everybody's talking like we're in the top of the market,
Mhm.
and there's a lot new people coming in. You know, it doesn't matter, wholesaling, flipping, house hacking, buying houses, buying multifamily. And there's like particularly multifamily space. I don't know, like what state are you investing in?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I don't know the what's going on in Louisiana currently, but people are saying it's harder to find deals now. Capital is more available than the deals.
Yeah.
So what do you think, even like being on the top and everybody's waiting for a market crash, and, you know, like all
Mhm.
these people, deals are not available. Is it still the right time to go and pursue multifamily investing right now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, sure. You definitely be more careful. I think the prices here are definitely inflated for the amount of growth that we're seeing. We're mainly there's a slow and steady market. There's not much going on here, but we do have a big university, so that's kind of that does kind of keep us floating. But yeah, as long as you're just being a little bit more strict on your underwriting, make sure I recommend buying a calculator. So like a lot of these guys that do these conferences sell calculators. I use Jake and Gino's. It's amazing. It's it literally has over the top stuff that you would possibly ever think of on it. But buy a calculator for a couple $100, and just really be careful in your underwriting. That's all I would really say. And then also to be careful of your location. I wouldn't get into the lower class stuff, like the D class stuff. I would never get into that personally, but especially now. And then I really would be careful how much you're paying at what cap rate for these buildings too, and making sure that the area is good enough to and diversified enough that if there was a crash, you don't want to be in an A unit. You definitely don't want to be in a D unit. You want to be somewhere in the middle. But so does everybody else. So you have to make sure that you're not overpaying. So
Yeah, yeah, got it. Great advice. Thank you for that. And being from Louisiana, are you familiar with a Chris Rood? Have you ever run
yeah,
into him? Yeah.
yeah. So my business partner, that's his first mentor. I've never met him personally, but he's quite something. Yeah, he's from south of us, so a little more
From
coon
Lafayette.
ass than us. Yeah, we
Yeah.
call those the coon ass people.
Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. I spoke with
Yeah,
him. He's been on an interview with me as well previously. Really cool guy, and, you know,
yeah,
like since I saw the guy, you know, on Grant Cardone's YouTube episode, I was like, I need to talk with this man. So
yeah.
really
And
cool guy.
Grant Cardone's from Louisiana too.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
here you go, and you're from there.
yeah, I am. Yeah, so
Awesome. So great people are coming from there, man. That's
yeah, I
awesome.
guess so. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what about business advice? Talking about all these great people coming from, you know, again, around you in Louisiana and all the different states like Jake and Gino. Like, who do you follow for business or real estate advice? You know, so people can go and follow maybe these people as well.
Yeah, so I kind of diversify a little bit. For business, I like Simon Sinek. He does a lot of he's the British guy. He does a lot of just strategy and kind of like studies basically just people, humans, basically just kind of like I like the way he looks at business through the people of the business. Because that's really what business is about. And then I really like for real estate, I like Jake and Gino, I like Grant Cardone, and then obviously Bigger Pockets. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, all of these are great sources, definitely. So people can go and check these out. Definitely, I know exactly what you mean. So people are gonna get tremendous value from these people. So okay, so talking about back to multifamily, you know, we spoke about, you know, the timing is good. Like there's all like it's better to go in now than, you know, when you're gonna be in a downturn, because the capital won't be available. People will be, if you're gonna be raising capital, if you don't have your own personal net worth, you know, whatever, couple millions or you know,
Mhm.
so it will be harder to raise money at that moment.
Mhm.
So, you know, what you said, just go in now and just learn, educate, surround yourself with the right people. So can you talk about some of the potential risks that might be involved, you know, for people to pay attention when they go investing?
Yeah. So right now, especially like if the situation that we're in, we're being careful with bridge loans because
Mhm.
say the market does turn and we're used to having these low interest rates right now. Whether it's Fannie Mae or whatever Freddie Mac loans, they're pretty
Mhm.
low right now, and they've
Yep.
been low and they've been going low. So if you underwrite your deal expecting to get a 5% interest rate or whatever, and then it goes up, that could kill your deal. And especially if you're stuck in a bridge loan, and you really might be in trouble then. So I'd be very careful about making a deal work just for the interest rate. I would be a little bit conservative, and maybe in the back end, say that refi, just account for it being a little higher. Not saying that it will happen. I think we've got a little while for another downturn, but just to be careful. And then also your location. It's really important right now. Like in the Northeast and even the northern states of the United States, I heard Seattle just passed a law that they cannot evict tenants in the wintertime anymore. And then you
Oh,
probably
yeah.
know what's going on. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
so, and even the migratory patterns are going basically to the South United States. So if you're in those states, I'm not saying don't do anything, but I'm just saying be very careful and know your laws very well,
And
and maybe even
yeah.
yeah, where the laws are going too. So, because
Landlord.
I thought that was crazy, and here we're a very landlord, friendly state.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
mhm.
Got it. Great advice. Yeah, definitely people should pay attention to that. Yeah, just one thing that I wanted to mention. Yeah, but forgot the question, so I guess it doesn't matter. But moving on to into acquisition part. So let's say somebody acquired the deal, and
Mhm.
that could be, let's say, first starts as you have a fourplex. So what do you think
Mhm.
for people? Should they get professional third party management, or should they like go and manage the property themselves? What do you think?
It depends. I mean, yeah, if you've never managed property before, I'd say probably so. But be careful of your management company because there's a lot of companies out there who just aren't very good, especially in my area.
Yeah.
But make sure that you're very strict on what you expect from them, and what you expect from or they expect from you. But be very careful with that. I like managing myself just because I like the control of it, and I don't look at management as a way to make money because if you want to start your own management company, that's great, but it's not necessarily the most profitable business in the world. I want to manage my own property, and that's it. Because right now I'm managing 24 other units for somebody else, and that's great. It's a great learning experience. But that's the only reason why I'm doing it is to learn. Uh, I wouldn't get into this to be the largest property management company in the world. That's just me personally, but I really like the idea of having a company that manages your properties for you that you have in house. I really like that idea, but obviously you have to be big enough to do that. So
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Yeah, definitely. Because and I wanted to talk, to talk about that a little bit because there's again, you mentioned like Grant Cardone, and he's always like hammering people, like
Uh-huh.
16 unit minimum, and people looking like,
Hmm.
what's wrong with like 2 units? But
Yeah.
look, like 2 units or 4 units, and you're coming from that position. So again, you
Hmm.
probably can talk about more than than me. So, but it's a work. Like if you want to manage your own properties, it's a lot of work.
Hmm.
Like it's a full-time job, and you don't
It is.
count the time and the effort that you put in, like all the headaches, as Grant Cardone says, like what was it? What does it say? Like tenants, toilets, and termites, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so it's issues. Like, and if you
Hmm.
don't want to handle these issues, property management on the small deals is going to be what, like 10% gross.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
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 So it's a lot. So the bigger you go, the less, money, the less percentage wise you have to pay for the management. It's like for the big deals, like 3%, three and a half.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like going big always makes sense, but you have to make, I guess, the steps, to get into the bigger deals, unless you're partnering with the experienced operator from the start, as a GP or,
Yeah.
you know. So that's awesome.
Mhm.
So what about the exit strategy? Now having this fourplex, maybe you can talk about so when did you acquire this deal? How long ago?
So I acquired last year, the midway through last year. I actually purchased properties completely seller financed. The only money down I put was she had some taxes that she owed, and she had some contractor bills that are past due. So
Hmm.
I made her whole on that and paid closing costs, and I think it was like $6,500 or $7,000 down. I paid $250,000 for this fourplex, and it's probably worth about mid threes now. Just because it, and that's another thing too is younger guys don't see the benefit of like looking at the seller's shoes. Okay, like, okay, well, why would they sell it to someone like me? Well, I showed this lady that she was actually losing money because the property manager was just taking advantage of her.
Mhm.
So she now makes more money per month than she did when she owned the property. So she was making like I think $600 a month, and sometimes she'd even lose money. Now she makes $1,200 a month every month on the first, and it's in her mailbox. So it's literally mailbox money for her. And she's an older lady, so it definitely was a win-win, and it definitely was a win on my part too. So you know, it was
So,
awesome.
so what do you think about the exit on this deal? Like, what was the exit that you planned out?
Yeah, yeah. So the exit, I think I'd probably hold it for a couple more years, just because the area is still doing well, and I'll probably exit and then just go put that money towards a bigger one. Just kind of just trade and flip up kind of thing.
Hmm. And is there a lot of attention going on towards Louisiana currently? I mean, companies investing.
Not really, no, and that's what's kind of aggravating. It's because the whole rest of the South is booming right now. Louisiana, we just have some some laws that are just weird here. Well, because we're the only state that doesn't have counties, we have parishes, and we have a lot of different laws that are different. I guess it kind of scares companies away. But if we get, it'll slowly start to get better. We just need to get better political stuff, and I won't go down that road. But it just gets to where we're missing out on a lot of growth, especially with the Mississippi River and all the jobs that we could have there. But yeah, it's just slow and steady, nothing crazy. It's just blue collar, a lot of oil here. But that's basically it. But in Baton Rouge specifically, we have LSU, so it's a big university town. We just won the national championship, so everybody's really happy right now. So yeah, that's really it's really it. I mean, we have a good bit of jobs, but nothing crazy like we're seeing the rest of us. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, like we're not talking about hundreds, unit plus deal that, a sophisticated,
Mm-hmm.
company or, a bank, like any big company like would come in and say like, oh my God, like all these issues, like for somebody who's looking to get that passive income, like whatever that might be, on a 4 unit deal, it's like it doesn't matter, like people are still going to live there, like nobody's is going to
Mm-hmm.
move out from that state and make it empty. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Yep.
your fourplex is fully occupied, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fully
So
occupied.
so here you go. I mean, so for the person who is looking to make that sense to buy the size of a deal, which it makes sense to me as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a problem, to exit and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about something, improving personal development. I don't know if you're big on that, but it sounds like you are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some top 3 business, non-business books that you would recommend for people to go and grab and educate themselves.
Yeah, I like Think and Go Rich is probably my favorite one. And then if you want to keep it simple, like The Richest Man in Babylon, that was a really good one. Just kind of a simple. I feel like that should be a mandatory read for basically every high school kid. Because I read that in high school, and I was just like, wow, it's so simple, but it's actually, I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I also like Brandon Turner's book, the book on rental properties, even though it's not really business, it's more specific to real estate.
Yeah.
I really like his book. So yeah, I like kind of brushing up on new books, and I really like the good ones.
Awesome, awesome. So, what do you recommend for people again who are like you're talking about acquiring this 32 unit deal? And what do you think, like, for somebody who is fresh, like, should they go and try to do, something like that by themselves, or should they go and find a partner to get this
No,
deal?
I wouldn't say you're saying for their first deal.
Yeah, for the first deal, like 30.
Yeah, yeah, I would say do it. I mean, yeah, you could definitely do it. I just say you shouldn't do it by yourself. And one thing I kind of got held up on was the equity portion of it. Like I was scared to give up equity.
Hmm.
But it's a little piece of, I forgot what Brandon Turner said, something about a piece of a grape or a whole grape is better than a small tiny piece. Or no, a
Yeah.
tiny piece of watermelon is better than a whole grape. So if you just, and you're getting the experience too. So it's way better to partner with somebody who knows what they're doing, because first it'd be easier to get the deal because you have somebody who's credible, and then you have, you're learning everything there. So you're basically just hitching your wagon to his horse, and you're just letting that racehorse run. and and
Yeah,
it's that's definitely the way to do it.
definitely. It makes sense, because like, because I think, like, because you're young, I think I'm young still. So, like when you go to the Instagram, like it just bothers me sometimes. I see all these people like, you know, like on this, I'm like, I'm the best, basically. I'm the business owner. I'm the best, like in
Mm-hmm.
my industry, like, and they're trying to be the best. Like, look,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to run a business, which is 32 unit complex is a business, it's a working
Mm-hmm.
active business. You need a business partner because maybe you don't have the right skills for now to get this deal. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Right.
I wouldn't see why people, like, I don't understand why people wouldn't go and get the partner, because that will make
Yeah.
the, again, because what you said, like owning a percentage, 8%, 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
I think it's an ego. It's an ego thing. I think at the end of the day, I think it's just, oh, I know I can do this, and I'm sure you could do it, but
Yeah,
you're gonna have to work a whole lot harder to get there, and you might even, mess up, and then
exactly.
you will be really in trouble.
It's all about the speed. Look, it's not going to be only one. Like for you on that 4 unit deal, it was good. Like nobody else was bidding on a deal, but it's on a
Hmm.
32 unit. It's going to be multiple people who already have
Hmm.
a experience in the business and they know how to close. Maybe they're going to pay even more for the deal than the asking price. And you're going to be
Hmm.
standing there looking like, oh my god, like all these people are more sophisticated, and that's why we need partners. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what about the 2020 goals you mentioned, 32 unit deal, which I'm sure you're going to get it, very fast. You mentioned you're going to go and talk with this man today. So can you talk about 2020 goals and what do you have planned out for you and your business for this year?
Yeah. So I plan on doing 100 units this year. That's kind of our goal that all of our partners talked about, and I think we can do it. I think we're going to have to go out of state. We're probably going to start looking in Houston, Texas, and maybe the Florida Panhandle.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think we could do it. It's just it's just grit, and you got to keep consistency. And once we keep that, I think we can do 100 units.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. I do agree with that. It's all about, you know, perspective, mindset. Like, like there's a lot of that involved. If you think you can, you definitely find a way, because, a lot of that
Hmm.
is in a creativity. Like, look, you found a way how to go from cutting grass and working hard for
Hmm.
the people to buying fourplex and now going and getting the 32. So if you
Yeah,
went from zero to that, so you can go like beyond once you have the
yeah,
experience, momentum in the business. So it's just figuring the way.
yeah. And I always say it too. If you keep the where he's really, really motivated and they work really, really hard. If you keep that for 11 or 12 months, then imagine what you could accomplish in a year. So that's the way we look at it right now.
Long-term thinking. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Okay, so what about the marketing tools? Again, selfish question, because having a
Hmm.
social media company, like we work with real estate companies where we help them to get more leads and sell properties, like whatever work, people, different industries.
Hmm.
So, what are the marketing tools that you're currently using for your own business? Maybe
Yeah.
it could be
So,
the don't have to be even social media. Maybe it's something that helps you on a day-to-day basis.
yeah, it's a couple things. The first one is basically personal relationships. So it's kind of a small area here. So we go to the horse's mouth basically. We know who owns the most property here. We know who has the most pull, so to speak. So we go there, and then also we have one of our guys that is one of Gene Blinkoff's students. I don't know if you know who that is, but the social media guy. He does all of our social media, which is basically just doing Facebook geofencing and a couple different things. Also, we're doing minor this like ads, which basically is just bandit signs. I mean, not very much of that, but that's really just for rentals if we have something available. But that's really it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, because like I talk with like some of the clients that we have there in syndication space, and all these people have hundreds of units of properties, and like, because there's a lot of noise, like it's, I'm just like giving you an advice, like moving forwards, like
Hmm.
everybody, because the real estate industry is a little bit old, like everybody
Hmm.
is not taking the advantage of social medias. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned bigger pockets, like
Hmm.
anybody who's watching this right now, you can go to the bigger pockets, and we spoke about finding the partners. There's 1.64 million people like registered on
Yep.
bigger pockets.
Hmm.
So there's
Hmm.
partners, there's capital available, there's could be a deal flow, potential deal flow, like there's everything. So like we connected
Hmm.
like on Facebook. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people should use social media more, particularly when it comes to raising capital, building those relationships. And of course, like if you're
Hmm.
looking to build if you're looking to raise a capital, you have to make sure, like by the SEC regulations, that you know connected with those people that land on your page at least 2-3 times. There's those, like, you have to pass those through. But I mean, it will give you tremendous exposure. Look at the Grant Cardone, like, for example. Like, if you want to go to these levels, and I'm sure everybody who's watching, if you're familiar with the Grant Cardone, you would love to be in that position, owning billion plus real estate, you know, under management. Like he said before, that was long ago, I can't remember, but he said he raised, the number is going to be wrong, but it was millions. I think 1.3 million just through the social media without any promotion. Because again, he has a solid base, like he has a strong base on social media presence, so he can just go out there and raise money, like, from people, because people trust him. They see him all the time. So that's the key here, like, for going in the future for all the businesses. Like, look, like Jeff Bezos, like, he runs the internet, you know, company, and he's the richest man on the planet. And people looking at the social media thinking like, oh no, it doesn't work. Like,
it doesn't work. And that's, I laugh, like, because a lot of these owners that we're dealing with now are we ask them how they collect rent, and just as something simple as that, we use Cozy, because we just don't want our property manager having cash. It's scary, you know. And it's amazing how they advertise these properties too. Like, they put it in the newspaper, and like they put the sign out front, and they're just getting lucky because the area is really, really good. But what about the property owners that aren't in the best area? And I've witnessed them, you know, they sit vacant forever. So I think, you know, we get a bad rep being millennials, but I think it's just, we're able to embrace the change faster. And that's all it is. And if you, like you said, social media is so powerful. Like, if I have a question on Facebook, you've probably seen me. I literally just type it and ask on Facebook, and there's 10 people or more than half, like, because everybody likes to, you know, to help. So it's amazing, like, how much, you know, you could learn from that.
Definitely. So, you know, coming back to the same questions, what would be the best social media platforms for people to go and reach you out if they have more in-depth questions, you know, about real estate investing?
Yeah, Facebook probably. I actually just started a group on there, and that's another tip too, is join a bunch of groups. It's called Gulf South Landlords, and that's my group that I started. I'm also a part of W2 Capitalists with Jay Helms. And then I'm on a couple other ones, like the Multifamily Masters with Rod Cleave. But Facebook would be really, really good. Just join a bunch of groups, and you'll just be surrounded by, your whole feed will be surrounded by people posting whatever. And that's been really helpful. And also with advertising too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So all the links, guys, you can go on and find, you know, down below as always. Again, guys, if you enjoyed this quick interview, again, there is so much knowledge that you provided here in the interview, but I still can feel like every time, you know, talking with these, you know, business owners like yourself, there's more than you can give, you know, because there's just 30-40 minutes that we have right here. So if you want to connect with Nathan, again, click all the links down below and just, you know, connect, ask, you know, the questions about investing. I'm sure he can share some of those. So, and again, really appreciate the time and effort, man. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing you, you know, getting this 32 unit deal up and, you know, running to the 100 units, which I'm sure you're going to do that. I'm sure you have the right partners, you know, to get this deal going. So yeah, man, just keep moving, keep pushing. You're definitely a cool guy, you know, appreciate you, you know, and the story is phenomenal. And it just shows that's what it takes, you know, in life and business. Through the hard work, you can go from cutting grass to owning plus units and, you know, being multi-millionaire, or, you know, having all this passive income coming into your life and through the business. So really appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing your success too.
Thank you. So guys, again, if you enjoyed the show, like, subscribe, share it with a friend so they can learn how to invest in real estate, you know, passively, actively. Again, if you have any questions, leave those down below, or connect with Nathan through the links as well. Appreciate you watching, and I'm going to see you on the next episode. Thanks.
Thank you.